I'm GFWilliams and welcome back to my garage and also to the channel, where today we are going to be walking through the stages before the car goes to the paint shop. So it's kind of odds and sods, the stuff that you have to do, and I wanted to just get the car as perfect as I could before it went to Ken. So I'm going to take you through that and we'll start with a bit of cleaning. This section's looking much better for a clean. Give it another go over, try and get some of the tar spots off. All this stuff really makes a difference. I think if I go over absolutely everything like that, the car will look absolutely lovely, so I'm quite excited for that. One part of the car I'm not massively happy about is these wishbones and also the uprights. Normally you can't see them from this angle. They've got quite a bit of rust on them. They're not damaged per se. I don't think it's to a dangerous level. I've had a little bit of a scrape down there and it's come off. If I were to sandblast them and coat them, they'd look pretty much brand new. So I'm tempted to do that. But then the cost of all new bearings and everything like that while I'm at it is really quite high, and my budget's already quite stretched. So the question is, do I do it now while it's all easy to access without the clams in place? Or do I wait? Or do I even do the slightly short-term solution and paint it with a brush or rattle can myself and just wire brush it off and see how good I can get it? The brake calipers very much need painting and a refurb, so that's on the list as well. The old plastic ducting had to come off. Basically, the new front clam is a totally different shape, so at great expense, and this was something I didn't expect when I started this project, I've ordered the new ducts, the new grills, etc, so they will be with me soon.
Little update, grills are off. I've given it a first clean. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. You can see in all the shuts now. Yes, they're going to be painted, but you can never clean too much, eh? On the back, got all the ECU stuff. I need to tidy that up a little bit just to make it easier at a later date. Got the clam on the driveway. That is being picked up soon.
I then removed the brakes, and the calipers are going to Autobarn Engineering, and he's going to be modifying them a little bit before Ken refurbs and paints them. I decided to have a bit of a go at the wishbones and uprights with a wire brush, and actually they came out better than I expected. It was mainly surface rust, and to be honest, with a quick clean, I'm pretty happy with how it's looking.
Okay, so I'd like to first of all say that this isn't an absolute permanent solution. One day I will get everything off, powder coated, cleaned, etc, and probably replaced, knowing me. But as a low cost solution, I mean, it's looking a hell of a lot better, isn't it? So I have basically wire brushed as much as I can, and then I've got a special paint that's to stop rust and to bond with the metal. So it's looking a lot better. I obviously need to clean my dampers up properly. They're looking a bit sorry for themselves, but good thing about the nitrons is they really do clean up very well indeed when you clean them. This bracket, which is the Comotech big brake bracket, is a little bit concerning. There's some corrosion which I'm a little bit concerned about, so I don't really want to put those back on the car.
Just to cut in, I have actually got a replacement for them now.
But overall it's looking a lot better. It's good as a cheap, easy solution in your back garden. The reason for doing this is not to make everything look perfect. It's very much to just try and protect it, give my car a longer life cycle before I have to spend an absolute ton of money, because I'm already spending a ton of money on upgrades. It is incredibly difficult to stay tidy when doing various bits. Thought it'd be quite a nice little time for an update. So if I look around, you can clearly see exhaust is removed. That is on the floor down here. That is the rear subframe. So I had a moment of realization that without somewhere to hook onto safely, it's going to be very hard to get the car onto a trailer, especially with loose clams, because I'm only going to rest them on. So I put on the toe strap, which is a job I have been meaning to do for about 2 years now, but it's not the easiest of jobs because you have to take the heat shield off in order to get to where you need to be. So that's done, which is great. I'm happy about that. If I come in closer, you can have a proper look. It's quite hard to move around, but yeah, I actually got that powder coated when I bought it a couple of years ago, and inside Lotus normally use a retaining clip, which would have been easier, but as I've got the clam and everything off, it's not that hard. I'm never going to have to remove this anyway, so I don't really see the point. I am going to paint all in here. As you can see, I've done the top section. Yeah, the engine doesn't look quite as nice as my subframe, but I can live with the engine the way it is. Next things to do, big clear up basically, and get the clam back on resting, get a couple of bolts to secure it. I'll probably go with these big ones. As you can see, the electronics are just loose. I also need to sort the brakes out, so I've got this disc off here, which is outside. This one's being an absolute pain. I've got all the brake calipers off. Didn't entirely go to plan, to be honest. Hence a bag full of brake fluid, which is very annoying. So I was hoping that that wouldn't happen. On this side, I didn't get much leakage. In the front, I didn't get any leakage. But the clip didn't hold on well enough on the rear end. So, I mean, I've got to flush all the brake fluid anyway when I do all of this, but I have the brake calipers off, as you can see on the floor. I broke my pin punch tool, so I've still got the pads in those ones. I've got a new tool arriving. The plan with the brakes, if I pick one up, put it here for you to see. So I have never liked how that's all embossed, and it's the old logo, and I don't intend to have any of the old logo on my car. So therefore I am getting about 0.5 mil shaved off to just flatten off that face, and then we will put a logo on, just with paint only. So yeah, but if you're wondering how the car looks without the exhaust, that there, that's off the Y pipe. God, look at the state of that. So dirty and horrible. Yeah, perfect timing to be able to fix all of this though, which is nice. There is always going to be a couple of bolts that don't want to play ball. I've just removed this one, drilled it out, and then there's another one up here. They're actually, weirdly, riv nuts into the subframe. So I don't know whether to stick a new riv nut in. This is just for the heat shield, so it's not load bearing or anything. Or just, I can reach the back of it. I might as well just put a nut on it. It would be just as easy. Yeah, a bit odd, but yeah, we'll probably just put a nut on it. There we go, not too bad a job. You'll have to forgive the brush marks. this is a part that will never ever be seen on the car. So this is purely for protection, but it looks much better anyway. For those interested, this here, which I've got loose at the moment, is the vacuum controller for the exhaust. And a couple of months ago I had a bit of a nightmare trying to get this replaced because it had corroded through there. Yeah, I wish I'd just waited and done the job now, because it would have taken me about a minute now, whereas it probably took me about 3-4 hours before. Okay, it's all looking good. As we come underneath, you can see heat shield back on, vacuum pipe on. The heat shield is now much more solid than it ever was before, because I've added some washers which should hold it in place better. Lambda sensors, never poke them through the subframe because they're a pain to get back through, even when you've got full access from the top. It's looking good. I'm going to put the exhaust back on through the big hole there, and then clam goes back on, and we're closer to being ready for paint. A bit unexpected, but my wing has arrived and I've mounted it up. It was actually due after the uprights, but Reverie, top notch, ahead of schedule, which is nice. It arrived today and I put it straight on, and I'm loving the look. It's pretty mad looking. I think my favourite view is down here, where it just looks utterly ludicrous. This is huge. I don't have the end plates yet. They are coming from Comotech, because I think they do the nicest looking end plates, quite similar to the Cup R but slightly better. Obviously the car will have a diffuser, sticking with the 430 Cup diffuser. Yeah, lots of new parts to come soon, and it's almost ready just to go to paint. It's a big day today. The car is off to the paint shop. It's going over to KSD Autobody. Big thanks to Ken there. And the car is being picked up by Zenith Detailing, Zenith Vehicle Management. They've got a really awesome covered transporter, SDH Racing as well. Go give them a follow. I have paid for it, but they're also pretty awesome guys. Sam's got some very cool cars. So, just show you what the car looks like. Figured I'd leave the wing on for Ken to see. I thought he might find it amusing. It's a covered transporter, so it doesn't really matter that things are loose, but I put a couple of bolts in the clams. It's the first time seeing it out in the open a bit with how it looks. It looks ridiculous. So that's it. The car is gone. It's now at Ken's, KSD Autobody Limited on Instagram. Go give him a follow. He will be updating you as well. Please do like and subscribe. I'm sorry this video took so long to put out. We will have more coming up now that the car is going through the paint process. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.